I don't even know what the Liberty Launcher is.
A few minutes later.
It's literally a confetti cannon. Generic intro in the Duck Goes Moo. We're back with some more Bad Weapon Academy by Fish Stick on a Stick Gaming. Today we have the Liberty Launcher, which, to be honest with you, I didn't even know it existed. I've seen it before, but I had no idea it was called the Liberty Launcher, and I've never actually used it before, so this one should be really interesting. It must be really, really bad, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody use this thing ever. You want to check out my reaction to the last one, which was, oh, it was the Babyface's Blaster. I'll leave right there. Also, link down below in the description. I'll also be in a playlist on my channel with all of my other Team Fortress 2 videos. When check that out. The comics, the 6th comic will be out on Sunday. Patrons get a day early. Patrons also have a chance to win a signed duck much like this one. This is going to one of my insane patrons down below. Shout out to the patrons. They get the videos a day early. Allow me to have a paywall on the channel and allow me to make as many videos as I do. So thank you to each and every one of them. I'm super excited to get into Bad Weapon Academy. You all have shown so much support for this series, so thank you so much. It really, really, really means a lot to me. I hope you subscribe to. We're rebuilding the channel because it was deleted a year ago, but thank you all so much for the comments you leave and just making me laugh and making my day better, so thank you to everybody. Let's go ahead and jump on into the Liberty Launcher. Oh man, this should be good. Comic, the 6th comic comes out on Sunday. Patrons get a day early. This is also going to assign, or this is going to an insane patron today. So, you can check out our Patreon. Check out the gaming channel as well. Also have a Minecraft realm. I didn't even know what godlike with a Liberty Launcher.
A few moments later.
I don't even know what the Liberty Launcher is. That backstab.
Express how much I hate France right now.
I hate France. Snorts.
Welcome to Bad
I feel like that
Weapon
was
Academy,
unusual
where we
troubles.
look at the worst weapons TF2 has to offer, and I show you how to best use
Yeah, I've never like
Today we're
even
looking at the
seen this
Liberty
thing before.
Launcher,
Oh
also
wait,
known
I've seen it in a
as the
hand before.
Schwicky Swag.
What's the Schwicky Swag?
Well,
What does
what?
that even mean?
It's the Liberty Launcher.
This weapon used to be the definition of a crutch when I first started playing the game.
But
You'd
what
get
is it now?
faster rockets, but one less rocket in the clip, so you
That
could
doesn't
hit
sound too
enemies
bad.
easier in exchange for damage over time. It wasn't
Yeah,
useless, but
that's
any
fine.
good soldier would know that using the rocket launcher is just better, since having 4 rockets means you'll get killed less often. It's just like the
Yes.
soldier always said.
Son, always remember,
Unusual troubles.
dying is gay.
I've reacted to the
Nowadays,
unusual
any
troubles.
good
You check those out on my
soldier knows
channel.
to use the rocket launcher over this thing for the same reason, but different.
Oh, nice.
And that's damage. This weapon hasn't really had a fall from grace like the last episode. It was never the
No.
best option, but it went from a usable crutch to the equivalent of shooting your
What?
enemies with empty cans of soda launched out of a t-shirt cannon. Yes,
did it get nerfed
is
that
a metal
bad?
projectile hitting your enemies at high speeds, but there's better options out there. This is another
Ooh.
situation where one stat is all it takes to qualify the weapon for an episode.
Like the Babyface's
because
Blaster.
It's so
But I was like,
detrimental
oh,
that
this
it
thing's
vastly
pretty good.
outclasses the multiple upsides the weapon has to offer. So let's look at those. Your rockets will travel 40%
25
faster than normal, which is definitely a noticeable upside.
Yeah.
It's not the virtual hit scan of the direct hit, but it's definitely an
No.
upside when shooting at enemies. Although this can make rocket jumping somewhat wonky, as you have to get used
Why
to
would
the
you use
projectile
it?
speed. Though I'm bad at chaining my rocket jumps in the first place, so I
Rocket
don't know
jump
what
is
that's
so
like.
difficult.
Speaking of
I
which,
get back in
you
Jump
take
Academy.
minus 25% damage from your rocket jumps, which
Oh.
isn't as much as it sounds like. You take 20 to 35 damage as opposed to the stock launcher's
Okay,
27
that's
to
better.
46, and the 16 to
It does less
27
damage,
damage you take
so.
while wearing the gunboats with stock. Minor as it is, though, it does make a difference. Even if you take
yeah, of
maximum
course.
damage from your rocket jump, you can still do
I've never
one
put
more
it on the
jump
map.
with the Liberty Launcher than you can with stock, assuming the same conditions. And if you take minimal damage, you can do 9 rocket
Oh.
jumps, assuming you don't take fall damage, compared to the stock launcher's 7. And to perform those extra rocket
I like
jumps
how
with,
people have done
you
that
have
math.
1 extra rocket in the clip, adding up to a total of 5. With this, you can stay in fights longer, which, along with the faster projectile speed, I found very useful for dealing with scouts that like to try and dodge your rockets for as long as possible. If it
Yeah,
ended
that's
here,
fair.
This would indisputably be the best rocket launcher in the game.
Yeah.
It, however, does not.
25%
Minus
damage penalty.
25%
Yeah.
damage. Fuck. This
That's
takes the
bad.
base damage of the Liberty Launcher from 90 all the way down to 68. Barely better than
Why
fucking
is it not
melee
one higher?
damage. And at max ramp up,
Melee damage?
you do less damage than the shotgun. 84 damage. This is downright painful.
Than the shotgun
It's
for a
already
rocket
comical
launcher.
in game how people could survive a rocket-propelled grenade hitting them point blank in the face, but now they can tank a whole hell of a lot of them. This affects everything you do.
That is...
Soldier goes from one of the best classes equipped to deal with sentry guns to, Demo Man, are you free to do this for me? My gun is having some performance issues. I understand it needs a significant downside to balance out the upsides, but this is so much for not enough.
It's literally a confetti cannon.
Other weapons do better. If you want a fuckload of rockets in your clip, use the airstrike. If you want to rocket jump around a lot, use the gunboats with any rocket launcher that actually does damage. And if you want faster projectiles, use the direct hit so that instead of those scouts tanking your point-blank rockets, they get deleted by point-blank
So there's no benefit to this thing.
This seems to be trying to be a jack-of-all-trades rocket launcher. But the ones that specialize in the attributes this one is middling in are just more appealing options.
Yeah.
Even the airstrike, which is similar in a lot of ways,
virtually no appeal to this thing.
Firing speed while rocket jumping, which makes it good at dealing with faraway sentries. As it stands, you don't do enough damage fast enough to keep up with higher damage classes. Heavies especially will shred right through you before you even get a chance to do anything about it.
He was not expecting a heavy.
Just end up running away from them. So let's do something about this.
You should run away from
In
heavy.
my experience using this weapon, there are 3 sets that are the most efficient, and they all require vastly different secondaries that take advantage of the fact that you take less damage from rocket jumping. The first and most straightforward method is to equip the buff banner. This backpack will give you and your nearby teammates a short boost of mini crits. This is a fantastic utility for any rocket launcher, as they remove damage fall off while keeping damage ramp up and give you a 35% damage boost. So for the Liberty launcher, once you're under the effects of a buff banner boost, you manage to completely negate the downside and remove damage fall off with a 10% damage bonus to boot. However, this boost only lasts for 10 seconds,
his name
and you need to deal 600 damage in order to fully charge it. And when your splash damage can do as little as 18 damage, that's a lot to ask for. And all the while, you won't have a secondary ready to use in case you get rushed down. And it doesn't provide a passive benefit the way the Conqueror and the Battalion's backup do. On the plus side, it's not just yourself you're buffing once you pop the banner. It's your surrounding teammates. So you take a more supportive role once you use this, and you can help your other teammates who are more equipped to do more damage deal with those classes that you just can't deal with.
Wow. Oh, it's a heavy. AKA, run. Got a mini crit, and you're still running away. Got a mini crit on him, still. I know, but he can. I love how these are, like, relevant. Oh, you got the Hulk.
Oh, this is bad. Dead.
To this end, you can also use the other backpacks, but the buff banner is the one that will cover your weakness the best, since it effectively removes the damage penalty once it's deployed. This set is definitely most effective in defensive situations where you can get a lot of people walking at you, so you can build up your banner as consistently as possible.
What were they thinking when they added this?
Banner, you may be better off with the battalion's
more
backup,
options is never bad.
It gives your team a massive resistance to sentry fire. The next method is to equip a shotgun. Which shotgun you choose is up to preference, same as with the Brass Beast episode. The stock shotgun, I'd say, is actually the weakest choice with this set. The slow switching speed compared to the reserve shooter and panic attack can make it feel much more sluggish in fights where you have to think quick on your feet. Although its tighter spread and higher clip size are advantages against the panic attack and reserve shooter respectively.
I'm not very familiar with
shotguns. The panic attack is great for dealing quick 1-2 punches against your enemies, especially after you come in from a bomb, as you'll be able to get in close and do even more damage.
Oh my god, why does the medic want to smoke?
Range. And you can do it without taking self-damage. The reserve shooter is surprisingly tricky to use. Because the Liberty launcher does less damage, it also deals less knockback, though it's much harder to launch your enemies in the air than it is with the stock rocket launcher, and especially the direct hit.
Definitely a lot easier.
This is a sort of hidden downside of the weapon. Like I said, the damage penalty negatively affects everything you do. However, if you do manage to knock someone airborne, the reserve shooter will likely deal even more damage than the air shot would, unless they fly far out of your range or a random bullet spread decides you can just go fuck yourself. This can also have a similar effect to the panic attack's 1-2 punch, although its effect is mostly limited to airborne opponents.
I just don't understand.
It does still have a faster switch speed than the stock shotgun though, so it's still useful even if targets are on the ground. The final method is aggressive Trollger. Yeah, seriously.
Oh my god, Trollger. I've never played Trollger.
I highly recommend the use of the Market Gardener with all of these sets. Because you take less damage from rocket jumps, you're much more free to go for risky Market Gardens while still having secondaries to fall back on. In fact, for the buff banner set, a Market Garden is actually a great way to build up a lot of the meter very quickly. And finally, with the gunboats, your rocket jumps are
Don't
only
even think
going
I'd
to
get off-
damage you in the
out of-
low
off the ground.
teens. This is basically as good as having a rocket jumper that can still do damage, making you extremely mobile.
I don't know what he
and
just
if
said
you're
there,
good
was
with your
not there
rocket
long
jumps in
enough.
market gardens, unlike me, you can be a serious threat.
Nice.
However, again,
Imagine
you have
having
to
to
be
fight
good at this to begin
someone
with.
that's up
If you're
above you
gonna
in the
try
air.
this one
just-
out, you need to make sure you get a lot of practice in and at least have the basics of rocket jumping down. So
yes.
make sure you practice your market
Oh,
garden
there's
swings
always
and go
Jump
practice
Academy.
on jump maps. This last one is much more theoretical so far, since I'm just not good at rocket jumping or consistently market gardening. I still beef it all
Fair.
the time, and I consider myself well below
Well,
average.
Soundsmith doesn't use
But
it.
if it's
Oh,
something
he
you
got so excited.
specialize in, then definitely give it a shot. I might make a short mini video once I see
Soundsmith
some more
doesn't use it,
experienced
though.
rocket jumpers' feedback. Anyway, the point with all of these sets is to be more mobile and more versatile than the average soldier.
And you would think I
Soldiers
would be
restricted
all
to
about that
gunboats
because
don't
it's
have
more mobile.
access to shotguns or banners. So you being able to
play
have
Scout.
what are essentially free mini gunboats means you can be a more effective double threat. You can dance around people in the air for quite a long time and make hasty escapes at lower health that other soldiers can't,
bye.
while
Like
still
how he missed a
having
market guard and just got
sustainability
out.
in the capacity of more rockets and a shotgun. However, the Liberty Launcher itself is still quite
100%
weak, and
died
it'll
there.
let you down often in fights because it just can't get damage out fast
No.
enough to kill a lot of your threats. Having to rely
And it's a
so hard
primary
on your
weapon.
secondaries makes it a much more constricting gun than it needs to be. So let's shake it up a bit. Less damage for another rocket is a fair trade, but if the
Yes.
airstrike can have 8 rockets and only minus 15 damage, then surely we can bump it up a little bit for the Liberty Launcher, right? I'd
Yeah,
try it at
make it
15%
15.
and see how that goes. But if that makes it too strong, then maybe just
But
a
I don't think
small buff
Valve
that's
listens to him.
-20%. That would have to be paired with some other kind of buff, though. What really irks me about this gun is that it just feels kind of slow sometimes. So what I'd like
What
to
do you mean?
see is a faster firing speed. So even though your
Oh.
individual rockets aren't doing as much damage,
I guess that would make
they're
sense.
coming out even faster for a similar DPS. You might even be able to do
Yeah?
some cool stuff with rocket jumping that you can't normally do with this change. These changes make it
Oh
a bit
god,
more
that would
similar to
change
the
the game
airstrike.
dramatically.
But with the airstrike, if you want to actually use it effectively, you're basically
cool.
limited to using the gunboats or the base jumper. The strength of the Liberty Launcher is its higher rocket jump resistance, which gives it higher versatility.
Which
You can
is
even
like
buff that too
it.
if you really want to make this thing the go-to rocket jumping gun. And one minor thing, if you're dead set on keeping the damage penalty as is and want to make this a combo weapon, then I say go the degreaser route and give this thing a faster switching speed. Pairing it with the reserve
Oh.
shooter, panic attack, and even the market guard
Yeah,
then
I could
would
see
be
how that
even
could
more
help.
dangerous.
Oh,
Then
nice.
let me festivize it, and you're good to go. A rocket launcher worth using much more than the one we have now. The Liberty Launcher is far from unusable
why would they
in its
want
current
that?
state, and I did end up having fun with it when I wasn't getting shredded by team stacks, but the other rocket launchers are simply better, and there were so many times
Yeah.
that I wished I was using them instead of this. I'd really like to see that change. As it stands, go out there and soar with
just
this thing.
doesn't
Drop that guy
make a
giving
whole
your
lot of
team
sense.
trouble with a well-timed market garden, and tell him Fish sent ya.
That's a lot of pressure that I do not need on me. I still need to try Trollger. There's like a couple seconds. Is that fish stick on a stick? TF2? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, man. Oh, he makes great videos. I love these videos. You can definitely check out the original in the comment, or not the comments, like the description. I read every comment, so leave some down below. Yeah, I didn't know Liberty Launcher existed, and it's probably a good thing I didn't know it existed. Probably because you all told me that, like, you all gave me a big heads up on what guns I should use and what guns I shouldn't use. I remember the first time I played the Engineer, I used a Pomsum, which I know is an upcoming Bad Weapon Academy weapon. And people were just like, yeah, this is why you should just stick to stock for the first time you play a character for the first time. Those videos are on my gaming channel. You can check that out. The gaming channel should get revamped here soon. Should start streaming Team Fortress 2 here in the near future as well. A whole lot of personal matters are going on right now that it's slowing everything down. But we have a lot more of these to come. You all have shown so much support for these videos, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support that you've shown. I really hope you've been enjoying them. I hope that you're subscribed. You can definitely leave some comments down below, and I hope to see you next video. But until then, take care and cue the music.